progress which you're making and great service which you're providing to the nation.
Thank you, Mr. Saurav. Good afternoon to everybody. As Mr. Saurav rightly said, the afternoon session and also the last day after the lunch, it is difficult for us to address the audience. Oh, yeah, it's a very tough job for all the speakers to keep alive for all the audiences who are present here. So let me try, how best we can just have a small presentation, because the time is also very limited. In fact, I had prepared a detailed presentation, PowerPoint, but I could not able to present it. But anyhow, I had another paper with the standby so that I can just finish within 10 minutes the impact of what is happening really in the vocational training. As you all know, these Asian economies have been emerged from the global financial crisis where the developed world is still struggling. You have to understand the developing and the emerging, economies, particularly in Asia, stand out as a. So what I want to stress upon is, by underlying the growth in economic capital has to be an equally strong foundation of building human capital. I just want to touch upon only one thing here. If you want to develop a skill, of course, we have to develop, this human being. That means human capital is more important to build a nation. In simple, it is the development of our people that has led to be the heart of sustainable economic development. We must invest, we must nurture, we must support an environment that can harness the energies and also the aspirations of a vast majority of the people, so that they can contribute to and benefit from this new phase of economic growth. India, everybody is telling the GDP should have an all-round development in growth of agriculture, manufacturing, services, etc. As you all know, our Honorable, Prime Minister of India have been said in many forms that India will have to create certified and skilled technicians for 500 million people by 2022, whereas the current capacity is only 50 million. That means we have to rise from 50 million to 500 million. An astounding gap of 90%. Another report highlights that out of this 89 million people who are expected to join the workforce from the 2009 to 2014, out of which 49 million people will be the school dropouts. See, the importance of this human capital, we have an urgent and important task ahead of us. Though we have missed the industrial revolution, we took control of our affairs in the post-independence and became the developing nation. The growth now has to be accelerated after 20 years of economic reforms. India is recognized as one of the high-growth economies with the potential to make the big leap from the developing to a developed nation within a generation. It is important we do not miss this opportunity. We have a large army of youth, but this demographic dividend, what everybody is talking about, the demographic dividend, can be encashed only if this large army is well prepared to handle the post, positions and workstation in offices or either in the shop floors or in sites, across the various things so that the nation and indeed the globe. In situation of rapid change, this preparedness must be a fast track to empower people for the enormous opportunities that lie ahead of us. An equally important aspect of building human capital is creating innovative, the capacity for innovations. This could be possible only we embed creativity into the DNA of our education system and reward innovation. This build much needed intellectual capital, which is a key to sustaining long-term economic progress. You all understand the nature of skill gaps. India is not alone facing this problem. Everybody now, because of the rapid technological innovations, the entire world is facing the skill gap. So the shortage of skills, the severe shortage, this issue affects many Asian countries, of course, which have risen in recent past. which leading to an increasing demand for the scarce human capital. I, makes, two very important things a challenge at the two distinct levels. Number one is we must build business leaders. They have to lead us through a changing and growing India. The second is we must simultaneously prepare the vast majority of our people to be employable across the spectrum of operational roles. Many countries are already addressing this challenge on a war footing. India business in general have been existed from time when it is tried and tested. But none of these holds in the past growing globally connects India today. We see the rising aspiration and a sense of restlessness in the rapidly emerging Indian consumer class. Companies are also responding with the speed and innovations as they compete to serve the new Indian consumers. The change runs concurrently with the swift movement of India from an agrarian economy to a manufacturing and services economy, a path uncharted in terms of magnitude. This requires not just human skill development, but also the leadership development to steer India forward at an accelerated rate. So in order to bridge the skill gap, India needs trained and skilled people to operate effectively and professionally as much of the shop floor of factories as it needs in the boardrooms or corporation. Right from the manager to the workers, our people must be empowered with knowledge, the tools, the skills, and the mindset. That is, morning also I heard one of the speakers was stressing upon the mindset. When you set your mind for the skills, then automatically you can acquire the skills. So the mindset is very important. So we have to see that mindset to build the world-class teams that can deliver world-class performance. This is a monumental task. Definitely this is a monumental task because we all know that, collectively, morning also one of the speakers was mentioning, we have to do collectively, and a single individual or a single enterprise or a single institutions or multiple institutions is not enough for a country like India, which is having 1.2 billion populations. So we'll need a comprehensive approach of, if we are accomplished this reasonable amount of time, the three principal stakeholders. See, please note that the three principal stakeholders that they must collectively address this agenda. One is government, number two is education institution, and number three is industry. There needs to be partnership and collaboration to enable an effective and integrated response to this challenge. A close public-private partnership, that is PPP, can change the entire ecosystem by uplifting the skills and capabilities of the nation, and that it is required from growth ambition. What is the role of government? If you're asking me about the role of the government should enable us for change. That means the government has to import a very important role to play in laying the foundation of this PPP and also in building a system and standard of education that serves all classes of society and prepares them with skills at every level of value chain. This will require a steep change both in the quality of education and also access to all levels, primary level, secondary level, and even higher education. No doubt India is moving in the right direction, in the right to education. RT, you are aware of it. The fundamental and the starting point of building human capital. We need to strengthen the educational infrastructure at the grassroots level to achieving not less than 100% literacy. Government is already started this and encouraging PPP to allow corporation, NGOs to put up school across the country. We need to unshackle the school sector from the bureaucratic red tape and allow both public, private schools or colleges and technical institutions coexist and compete. The government must also ensure that education at the secondary level is tailored for developing employable skills on a mass scale. The increased investment by the government as a national skill mission is a very welcome and timely gap. My NSDC colleague is also here. He is going to give more about on that. But anyhow, as per our Honorable Prime Minister's recommendation, Skill Commission has been set up, and a Skill Development Corporation is there, Coordination Board, all is set up to see that in India, the skill should play a very important role. That means the top priority agenda in the 11th priority is skill development. At this point of time, government needs need not rise to borrow on higher